Good morning. Good to see everybody this morning. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for coming out and joining us today. We've got our beautiful Christmas tree set up. We're getting ready to roll into Advent and all the fun, exciting things about that. I don't know about you, but my belly is still kind of full, still processing a little bit of that turkey and stuffing, for sure, and all the excitement of the weekend. And we are just so happy that you're here, that you took time out of your crazy life, your fun life, hopefully, and decided to spend some time with us this morning. So my alarm goes off Thursday morning. It's 5:45 a.m. For those of you who know me, know I'm an early bird, so that's usually not an issue for me. But the night before, I've got this crazy tradition I've been doing for 42 years where 3 friends and myself got together and we were hanging out on that Wednesday night, and all of a sudden we found ourselves in a Kmart and we're walking around and we found a football. And then it was like, hey, why don't we go throw a football around? That was the beginning of the Turkey Bowl tradition. 42 years we've been meeting on Thanksgiving Eve or the Wednesday night before. We usually start the game around 8 o'clock. We usually play until about 10:30, and then we go have and share a meal together, and I usually get into bed about 1 o'clock in the morning. So I wake up and I look, and the reason I had to get up so early was because I was asked to go pick up something for a friend that didn't realize when he asked me to do it that I was in Wixom, for those of you that know where Wixom is, and where he needed me to pick this thing up was in Sterling Heights. Now, for those of you who don't know that, it's about a 45-minute drive. And I'm supposed to be spending the rest of my time with my family. And I said, the only way that I can do that is if I do it early. And he said, no problem, we'll make that happen. So great, let's do it. Now, understand something. When I wake up and I look at the alarm, my brain is not functioning in any way, shape, or form. It's not like I woke up that morning and said, oh my God, it's Thanksgiving, which is what I normally do. It's just not working, right? And so I'm groggy and I'm thinking, I'm like, oh, I don't have my coffee. Coffee's important. I don't have my coffee yet, and I got to get in the car and I got to drive 45 minutes to get over there. And so I get in the car, and again, my brain's not thinking. I'm not going. It's Thanksgiving. I'm not kicking in yet. Nothing is working, but I'm in my car, and I'm driving. I drive for about a half hour. Now, remember, it's about a 45-minute drive, so I'm almost where I need to go. When all of a sudden, oh, my God, I didn't, please tell me I didn't forget the money. I didn't forget, oh, no. I forgot to grab my backpack, which had the money that I needed to pay for the thing that I was picking up back where I was staying. Now my brain is kicking in, but it's not kicking into love, joy, and Thanksgiving. It's kicking into, well, you fill in the blanks. So let me get this right. I've got to basically turn around and go back a half hour and then get the backpack and then come back, and oh my, and I'm just going like, no. And I'm getting upset, right? I'm getting upset, and I'm like, oh my God. And then, finally, what day is it, Mike? What day is it? Oh, it's Thanksgiving. Oh, it's Thanksgiving. Yeah, you know, that day when you're supposed to be thankful for everything. Oh, that's right. Okay. And then all of a sudden this thought or this nudge came in and says, why don't you actually try, doing something that you talk about every single day, and that is gratitude. Why don't you actually try it? I don't want to try. But anyways, I think, okay, gratitude, right? So I started to think, it's like, well, I'm grateful for my wife. I'm grateful for my puppies. Okay, how's that feeling? Not so much. It's not working yet. Then what? How about your spiritual family? Love my spiritual family. How about your health? How about your body? Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Things are going pretty well for me right now. How about Mother Earth? You happy about Mother Earth? You love Mother Earth? Yeah, I love Mother Earth a lot, actually. Yeah. How about, I don't know, how about your mind and your soul? You happy with that? Yeah, I am. And now all of a sudden what's happening is I'm starting to make that slow turn. You know what I'm talking about? It's like it started off with my wife and puppies, and it's like, yeah, that feels okay. But then as I'm adding on to it, all of a sudden, energetically, what I'm doing is I'm shifting. And I'm starting to shift in it. And so I get back to the house, and I grab the backpack, and I turn around, but now I'm kind of on this roll. And I'm thinking, what else am I grateful for? I'm like, oh my God, I'm grateful for all the things I have in my life and all the opportunities I have in my life. And I am really going. And then all of a sudden I come through this bend in the road, and all of a sudden the sun is coming up. And imagine this, I'm looking at the sun. There is a beautiful sunrise, and right in the middle of the sunrise is an American flag. And it was slowly, just the whimper of a wind, and the flag was starting to bend. And I'm like, I love this country that we live in. I get it, it's not perfect, but I love this country. And so I am now on a roll, and the energy is going, and I'm starting to feel like Mike again. I'm starting to feel good. I'm like, oh, wow, that's right. This is how this works, right? And all of a sudden, I pull up, and I got to pick up a set of tires for this friend. That's what I was picking up, and the gentleman comes out to meet me, and you could just tell it was like one of those moments where he was just like not into doing anything, and then like he gives me the tires, we do the thing, and then I'm getting ready to leave, and I said, hey, happy Thanksgiving. I hope you have a really, really great day. And all of a sudden, he changed from just this whoosh to, wow, thank you. And then sat there and told me the story for 10 minutes about his wife's car and where these tires came from and everything else like that. And we had an amazing experience. It was really cool. Got to kind of know the guy a little bit, right? Fun. So I'm sitting there and I'm driving home, and then all of a sudden it's like, Mike, what about the new Paul Selig book that Troy recommended that you read? You've got that on tape now. Why don't you listen to that? Anybody Paul Selig fans? Oh my God, the new book is amazing. And I start listening to that, and now my vibration, I am buzzing. And I am so happy, and I'm listening to this stuff, and it's so great, and all of a sudden I pull into the driveway when I got back to my sister's house, and I thought to myself, same guy, same day. Guy one, groggy, couldn't even figure out what his first name was. Guy two is now on cloud 9, and so happy and so grateful, just by pausing for a moment and doing some gratitude practices. And so, I'm going to share with you something that happened which was rather unique, but what I'm also going to do is I'd like to share this moment with you so that you can experience maybe a little bit of that. And what I want is if somebody could please, thank you, John, pass out some pens and pieces of paper. And while you're sitting here, I'm going to welcome you to the same experiment that I did. And that is writing down a few things that you might be thankful for. Now, I've only got a few lines on there. Have at it. You got a whole piece of paper. And so the rest of the time we're here together, if you want to scribble down some things, and I know it's not going to be easy, but you'll figure it out. Use a Kleenex box or whatever you need to do to grab to write on. And just write down some things that you're thankful for. Yeah, grab two. Grab as many as you want. You got the back of the page. There you go. Cool. So you can have fun with that and start filling it out as the rest of the talk goes. And I'm going to share with you something else that happened to me, because as great as all of that was, there was something else that happened when all of a sudden I felt this little nudge. And the nudge sounded something like Spirit going, hey, Mike, you're not finished. And I was like, not finished? What are you talking about? I'm pretty much on cloud 9 right now, feeling pretty good. I'm blasting love to every single thing that I know right now and feeling pretty good. And it's like, yeah, you're not done. I said, What do you mean? And it said, this voice said, what about the part of you that got mad at yourself for getting the money? What? What do you mean? Yeah, you know that part of you that got so mad at you for getting the money? Why aren't you being grateful for that part of you? Well, that was an interesting question. And I thought to myself, I said, well, that's easy, because that isn't the very nice part of me that does this. It's the part of me that can be highly condemning, using things like shame, blame, guilt, and judgment against me. It's my inner critic. And it can be brutal against me. Why on God's green earth would I be thankful for that? And then that voice said, oh, by the way, Mike, it's not just against you that you're doing this. And then all of a sudden in my mind flashed a moment that I had a couple of weeks ago that I was not proud of, but I was very human. And I'll share the story with you. I pulled up to a store to pick up some salt for my water softener. Salt's sitting right there. I pull up, figure I'll put it in my car, go inside and pay for it, and be done with this experience. So I pull up, get out, open my trunk, go over 10 feet, grab a bag of salt, put it in my car, go to grab the second bag of salt, and all of a sudden the person comes running out of the store, sir, you need, no, you can't do that. What do you mean I can't do it? You got to put that bag down right now. Okay? You got to go inside and pay for it. And I said, I'm going to pay for it. I've got other things I got to get inside the store. I just want to put that in there. And if you can see, I've only got about 5 feet to put this bag in my car, and then I'll be done. I'll come inside. You can stand right there. I'm not going anything. Nope. You got to set it down right there. You can't move. And that's where the part of me showed up that's not very nice, that human part of me that just looked at the person and said, oh yeah, really? Watch this. Grabbed my bag of salt, put it back, went into my car, grabbed the other bag of salt that was already in my trunk, went there, and I said, thank you very much, I'll take my business somewhere else. And then I sat in the car, and I felt horrible. I felt terrible. In that moment, that part of me wanted to hurt and attack that person. That's what it wanted to do. And I'm sitting there going, and you're supposed to be this dude that's supposed to be sharing this, and yet you're having this moment of wanting to attack somebody. Okay? So that was the story. And then I thought to myself, while I was having this other experience on Thanksgiving, it was like, so let me get this right, God or Spirit or whatever this voice is. I thought I could just let that go. I didn't think I was going to have to bring that back up again. Remember, I didn't really like me in that moment of being that part of me that was wanting to attack somebody. That doesn't feel good to me. It's not normally something that I do. And then all of a sudden the voice said, do you want to heal this? Like, what? And the voice said, yeah, do you want to heal this? And I said, well, of course I want to heal it. And then the voice said, well, it needs to be brought up so it can be exposed to the light and healed. You see, that's how things get healed. It's really quite simple, but you haven't been taught this process. And I'm like going, what? Understand, this is a conversation, a real conversation that's going on, and it's being shared with me. And I'm just listening and taking notes. That's all I'm doing. And then it goes on to say, instead, what you have been taught is to ignore, deny, blame, and do anything else except what actually needs to happen in order to heal this part of you. And then I said, which is what? How do I heal this thing? And then the voice came in and said, acceptance, awareness, and surrender. And I said, all right, we'll explain that because I'm not sure what you're talking about. And then the voice said, just understand, Mike, that you, and by the way, a lot of humans have been taught to accept and be grateful for those parts of you that you like. And in some cases, you're really proud of. We like that. Look what I did. Look at all this. Boom, 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 boom. Look at me. And I'm like, okay. And then the voice said, well, what about the parts of you that you don't like? The parts of you that you don't want people to know about? The parts of you that you don't even want me, Spirit, to know about? What about those parts? And you know exactly what I'm talking about, don't you? And I was like, whoa, I am so busted, it's not even funny. Guilty as charged, right? And then I thought to myself, yeah, but it's me at my worst. It's me at my worst. In some cases, it embarrasses me. I was embarrassed the way that I acted with that person. And when I do it, I just want to climb and hide underneath a rock. And then the voice said, yeah, Mike, that's exactly the problem. By hiding that part of you that you want to hide underneath that rock, nothing changes. Nothing changes. And then the pattern just keeps repeating itself over and over and over again. Now this thing has my attention. Right? I'm like, whoa, okay, I got it, right? And then the voice just said, is that what you want to continue doing? Well, of course not. I don't want to do that. I don't like that. And then the voice said, well, what if there was another way? A way that could heal this part of you. And I thought, okay. And then the voice went on to say, you see, Mike, it's totally okay that you have these parts. It's totally okay that everyone does to a lesser or greater degree. Every one of us does. The point of bringing this thing up and showing it to you is just the opposite of shame, blame, guilt, and judgment. It's the opposite of it. The point is to heal it so that you could see it. And in order to heal it, there has to be brought up. In other words, exposed and accepted. Once you do that, if you want to, the voice went on to say, I can take it from there and heal it. But until you're willing to accept that part of you, until you're willing to acknowledge that part of you, nothing will change. Everything has to start with you. It has to start with you. That's the way the healing process works. The voice went on to say, I can't take that from you. Can't do it. You have to start the process. And I said, okay, yeah, you got my attention now. I want to hear it. And then it just said, what if instead of denying and ignoring or not liking those parts of you, those parts of yourself, what if instead you just accepted them? What if you just accepted your humanity? And do something completely different that you've never done because you've never been willing to accept that part of you. And what this voice was suggesting is, if you would be willing to accept that part of you in love and forgiveness, that's what's going to heal it. That's what's going to change it. And as backwards as it seems, why not even try being thankful for that part of you? And I'm just going, this is different. And the Spirit said, yeah, it is different. It's almost like you're speaking a foreign language. It's almost incomprehensible. And that's the problem. We don't know how to do it. Certainly not the way I was taught when I was younger. Certainly not. These parts of ourselves are to be ignored, not talked about, not shared with anybody. And then the voice came in and said, well, what if we did it a little bit differently? And I said, what would that exactly look like? And it said, how about offering yourself grace? Grace. I was like, wow, grace. And then the voice said, contrary to common belief, grace is not just something that comes from me, God. It can come from you, but it takes practice. And the best form of practice starts with yourself. And I thought to myself, well, this sounds great, but man, it sounds very difficult because I don't even know what you're talking about. I've never had that experience. And the Spirit said, God said, well, of course it does. And it will be difficult at first. But it'll get easier over time as you continue to practice. And then the voice said, offering true grace is a divine act. It's letting yourself and others off the hook. It transcends the logical mind and comes from your Christ mind, the divine mind. That's why it sounds and seems like it's so foreign. And then the voice said, think of Jesus. He's on the cross, right? What does he say? Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. That's grace. Why is it we have such an easy time doing it for other people in our life, but we can't even do it for ourselves? And then the voice said, this is grace. This is power. This is love. And when you can do this, you are being love, which is exactly what you came here to be. I wasn't expecting this kind of a thing on Thanksgiving morning. And yet, the impact it had on me, I can't even put words to it. I'm doing my best to tell you about something that happened to me that to me was magical. It was beautiful. It was beyond something that I could even have dreamed possible. And as Spirit continued to share with me throughout the course of the day, I continued to bring up that situation. I kept on surrendering, just saying, I offer myself grace. I offer myself grace. I'm totally accepting my humanness in all forms, shapes, and sizes, whatever that may look like. And so, what I'd like to do, how many people out there may have one or two things, maybe, that they don't exactly like about themselves that maybe they want to work with a little bit? How many people? Maybe. Okay, good. There's one or two of you. Good. For those of you that didn't raise your hand, just, I love you. For those of you that might have a thing or two that you want to work on, here's my suggestion. What I'd like to do with you this morning is just for a brief moment, why don't you write that thing down on that piece of paper? That little part of you that you're just kind of going like, We are all living in this third dimensional reality. We're all human beings, and we all have our stuff. All of us. That's why we came down here, by the way. Because we wanted to come down here and feel like what it feels like to be separate from our divinity. And with that separation, sometimes becomes confusion, sometimes we get lost, sometimes we don't understand. And when all of those things happen, then we do things that may not make sense to this person that we are right here and now, but it makes total sense to that younger part of ourself that was doing something that it needed to do to protect itself, to get through what it was going through at the time, which is really what's happening in those moments. But we're here now. We're living in this planet, and we're doing everything that we can. But part of the things that we aren't very good at is just offering ourselves some grace. And so what I hope you take away from this little chat we've had this morning is this idea of just total acceptance of who and what you are. You are beautiful, just as you are. You don't need to change anything. You don't. And I would suggest that in terms of your own awakening, it'll go a little bit quicker if you can let go of beating yourself up for this illusion that we all have been given that means that in order for me to do this, it needs to look like this. Here is the picture of perfection, and if I don't figure that out, if I'm not living it, then I suck. Isn't that what we do? We do. So it's like, back off. Stop it. Stop it. You're doing a really good job. You're doing the best thing that you can do right here, right now. Everything that's going on in your life right now is showing up because you've wanted to grow through those situations. And sometimes they are going to stress us out and they're going to put us under incredible pressure. Why? Why does that happen? Because we wanted the experience of figuring it out. We wanted to know what it's like. And in some of those cases, guess what? We get lost. We get confused. We don't know what to do. And then we do stupid stuff. Next thing you know, you're yelling at somebody in a parking lot about putting your salt back in the trunk. I don't know. But that's what happens. And I can do one of two things. Either I can accept that part of myself and want to heal it and want to change it, or I can do what I've always done, which is deny, ignore, and not talk about it. Those are the things that will keep you stuck. Those are the things that won't let you process, they won't let you heal, they won't let you move on. And all my invitation to you this morning is to consider accepting those parts of yourself, because my experience is when I'm able to do that, I can breathe, and I don't have to set myself on this pedestal that says, you have to be like this, Mike, in order for you to be feeling good about yourself, and you can be that spiritual guy that gets up there and talks and people listen to. It's like, just knock it off. Really? You're just not that important. Or maybe I am. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out, right? Anyways, I hope this has been helpful. I'm just really glad you're here. And I hope you can take this and do something with it and play with it, because this thing called your divinity is a beautiful dance. We're supposed to be having fun. And if it's not fun, then why bother doing it? Seriously. Why bother doing it? Have some fun with it. Laugh about it. Cry about it. Dance with it. Sing with it. All of the above. Other than that, I just want you to know how grateful I am for each and every one of you for coming here and spending time with us this morning. I am tremendously grateful. You're amazing. You are doing an amazing job. Don't let anybody tell you you're not. You are here, and your light is shining brightly just because of who and what you are. And that is an incredible gift to anybody that's around you, that you share your life with. And I know certainly for me, you are a gift, and I want you to know that. And I am tremendously grateful for each and every one of you.
Hey, it's Reverend Mike here. I just wanted to stop for a moment before you get on with your day, and thank you so much for spending time with us this morning. It means the world to us, and I just wanted to let you know if there's anything that we can do to make your experience even better, please do not hesitate to reach out by going to our website. I also wanted to offer you the opportunity for us to get together and sit down so I could get to know you a little bit better and answer any questions that you have. I can either do that by either getting together in person, have a cup of coffee, or we can meet online via Zoom. If you're interested, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can reach me at michael@courage2thrive.com. And lastly, if you find these messages are helping you, we would be tremendously grateful if you'd consider donating to the center. The best and the easiest way to do that is simple. Just go to our website. Again, thank you so much. Hope you have a great day. Hope you're doing well. God bless, and we hope to see you soon. Bye-bye now.